Donald Trump just got publicly humiliated, and Karoline Leavitt went down with him in spectacular fashion. Bill Burr's roast, devastating. This meltdown is so messy, you'll need popcorn and a mop.
He's gonna build a wall from California to like El Paso, Texas. Like, dude, I've done that drive. That's like a 2-day drive, 85 miles an hour. Like, ah! Like you're gonna build a wall. You're really gonna do this? Like, how much is this gonna cost? How many times you gonna go to Home Depot? Like, how big is this thing gonna be?
Does anyone have any questions for Patty or for me? No?
I have a question.
No. Anybody? Okay. We'll see you all later.
Bill Burr just unleashed a scorching truth bomb, and Karoline Leavitt walked straight into the fire, then ran away like someone just yelled subpoena. Seriously, her exit was faster than Trump's sprint away from a fact check. She thought she could duck out quietly, but Bill set the tone, and the timing, chef's kiss. That wall rant wasn't just comedy, it was reality dressed in sarcasm with a touch of Home Depot shade. And then comes Karoline, doing the political version of the Homer Simpson hedge meme. One tough question and poof, she vanished. No answers, no accountability, just awkward silence and a desperate smile. Let's unpack this mess.
I'm not into politicians at all. They don't make any money. They're set up to be bribed, and in the end, they're all worth like $50 to $100 million. And everybody thinks one side is better than the other. You know, I don't know. It's a weird time, but I just feel like someone needs to bring the boiling water down to a simmer, and everybody on both sides, like if you watch CNN, Fox, you go online, or you listen to politicians, it's all, ah! And then you walk out on the street, and someone's like, hey, how you doing? You're like, good. So I don't think they're living in like a reality.
But is there anybody getting your ire up these days more than usual?
Nerds.
Bill Burr has officially become the philosopher we didn't know we needed. He just broke down American politics with the emotional clarity of a guy stuck in traffic next to a lifted F-150 with 3 Trump flags and a "Don't Tread on Me" bumper sticker. He's not wrong. The people shouting the loudest on cable news are living in a completely different universe than the rest of us. Meanwhile, Karoline Leavitt is over here trying to dodge basic questions like they're flying tomatoes. It's honestly amazing how Trump managed to surround himself with an entourage of political cosplayers. People so out of touch you'd think they were created in a lab to lose elections and then blame the media. Stick around, because the next part of this story is even wilder. And yes, it's still destructive.
Where my comedy act is right now is I'm trying to get regular people to stop yelling at each other and realize that it's a select few group of nerds, okay, eating raw almonds and doing their stupid workouts and everything and just competing with each other to have the biggest infinity pool, and the rest of us are getting pushed down. And they've politicized the whole stupid thing, and we're falling for it.
And who's the they? Besides people who eat almonds?
That idiot Elon Musk.
Oh.
Bill Burr just casually body slammed Elon Musk while explaining how the political circus we're trapped in is basically billionaire CrossFit for narcissists. Raw almonds and infinity pools, that's who's running the show. Meanwhile, we're all arguing at the family BBQ over who ruined the economy, when it's just tech bros in Patagonia vests pulling levers behind the scenes. And somewhere in the middle of that chaos, Karoline Leavitt trying desperately to look like a serious political figure, while Bill Burr's out here turning her into a punchline with no setup needed.
Which White House official made the decision to bar the AP reporter from the Oval Office and the diplomatic reception room last night?
Well, first of all, let me just set the record straight. It is a privilege to cover this White House. It's a privilege to be the White House press secretary. And nobody has the right to go into the Oval Office and ask the President of the United States questions. That's an invitation that is given. And there are hundreds of outlets on this campus, many of you in this room who don't have the privilege of being part of that pool every single day and getting to ask the President questions. We reserve the right to decide who gets to go into the Oval Office, and you all have credentials to be here, including the Associated Press, who is in this briefing room today.
Oh, wow, that's not a press briefing. That's a TED Talk on how to gaslight democracy. Karoline basically said, look, asking the president questions, that's like an honor. And we only give that out to our favorite media pets. You can practically hear her polishing Trump's golden toilet with her words. Choosing to ride or die with Trump is already a bold career move, but defending media censorship with the confidence of someone who's clearly auditioning for press secretary of North Korea, that's a whole new level of cringe. She's out here acting like the Oval Office is a VIP club, and she's the bouncer with a clipboard saying, "Sorry, AP, not tonight." And the best part, Bill Burr didn't even have to mention her name for the crowd to know exactly who he was talking about. What happens next? Let's just say the meltdown isn't over. And yes, Trump's name is still all over it.
I'm sorry, have you ever paid a tariff? Because I have. They don't get charged on foreign companies, they get charged on the importers.
And ultimately, when we have fair and balanced trade, which the American people have not seen in decades, as I said at the beginning, revenues will stay here, wages will go up, and our country will be made wealthy again. And I think it's insulting.
Watching Karoline Leavitt talk about tariffs is like watching someone try to freestyle their way through an economics final they clearly didn't study for. The reporter's question, crystal clear. Her answer, a word salad tossed in Trump brand dressing and sprinkled with Reagan-era talking points. She's saying fair trade like it's a magic spell that'll make us all millionaires, while completely ignoring the part where tariffs hit American businesses, not China. But hey, why bother with facts when you can just repeat campaign slogans and hope nobody notices your answer was actually a long, awkward shrug?
Does the president feel that he was misled by his national security advisors, whoever it was that told him there was no classified information in there, now that he's seen these messages?
I've now been asked and answered this question 3 times by the both of you, and I've given you my answer. The president feels the same today as he did yesterday.
Okay,
Philip.
and on my follow-up on what you had just said.
Go ahead, Philip. Caitlin, I'm not taking your follow-up.
I have a follow-up on something you just said, though, Carol.
This part, it's comedy gold. Caroline gets asked if Trump was misled about classified documents, and she shuts it down faster than Trump hanging up on a debt collector. She's dodging questions like it's dodgeball, and she's the only one on the court. Reporters are practically begging for clarification, and Caroline standing there like a malfunctioning Siri. Sorry, I'm not taking your follow-up right now. You just know Bill Burr's somewhere shaking his head like, yep, this is why aliens won't visit. Trump World's favorite press puppet is in full meltdown mode, and the worst part, she actually believes she's crushing it. And let's not forget, Caroline wasn't just some cheerleader in the MAGA bleachers. She was front and center on January 6th, waving that flag of delusion like it came with a frequent flyer card to Mar-a-Lago. She wasn't watching the train wreck. She was the one shoveling coal into the engine. And now, she's trying to climb out of the wreckage like nothing happened. But buckle up, because what's coming next? Even more unhinged. And yep, it's still all about, let's say, strange billionaires.
Time, Jimmy.
Yeah, it really is.
Billionaires are not happy having $1 billion. Why does Elon Musk dress like he just... All right, thank you.
Oh my God.
Why does Elon Musk dress like he just got out of a Hot Topic? Just, I am so sick of that guy trying to rewrite his origin story like he was Matthew McConaughey pulling into the high school. It's like you were a nerd, nobody banged you, and now you have hair plugs and your laminated face. No, and everybody is afraid of these nerds. I don't get it. My whole life, feminists were focusing on frat boys and guys with their hats on backwards, and they left the nerds alone. And now look at them.
Bill Burr just carpet bombed Elon Musk and somehow managed to drag the entire tech billionaire ecosystem in one breath. Legendary. This isn't just a roast, it's a historical correction. Burr's basically saying, we let the nerds cook, and now they're feeding us conspiracy soup and charging $8 for Twitter Blue. And somehow, Karoline Leavitt is spiritually sitting at that Hot Topic checkout too, proudly cosplaying as a serious political figure while clinging to Trump like he's handing out internships. She's not making bold moves. She's clinging to a flaming political Hindenburg and calling it strategy. Bill Burr doesn't just mock, he dissects. He's not just taking shots at Caroline's talking points. He's shining a massive spotlight on the fact that her entire political persona is built on staying loyal to a guy who couldn't find the truth if it was stapled to a Big Mac.
Have you been called, been notified by Trump to interview Trump? Would you interview Trump?
No, and I wouldn't interview a Democrat either.
Yeah.
I don't want to know those people. My job is to make fun of them.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, the same thing with an award show. Why the fuck would you ever host an award show? Your job as a comic is to make fun of an award show.
This right here, Burr laying out his entire mission. He doesn't want access. He wants ammunition. He's not here to shake hands with Trump or play patty cake with Democrats. He's here to expose the entire political Hunger Games for what it is. A bunch of overpaid clowns juggling scandals while the rest of us just want affordable eggs. And Karoline, she's not some innocent bystander. She chose to wade chest deep into the Trump sludge, thinking she was heading for the spotlight. But the only thing she found was a mic drop from Bill Burr. He made it painfully clear, these people didn't fall. They dived headfirst into the wreckage, hoping the chaos would make them famous. And coming up next, we've got even more from the Trump dumpster fire. Let Bill say something about it.
For president. It wasn't Trump or Hillary, though. I didn't like either one of them.
Really? You didn't like either one?
No, I didn't. I couldn't stand her. She dresses like a real estate agent, like her doing this thing with her head.
Yeah.
The other guy's saying, take people's coats.
Yeah.
They just didn't offer anything for me.
Yeah, so they didn't appeal to you.
No, they didn't. And I don't understand why everybody's so upset.
Yeah.
You know, like, what's going to happen to you?
Bill Burr, ladies and gentlemen, saying what half the country felt, but no one on cable news had the guts to say. Hillary, too stiff. Trump, too Trump. Burr wasn't picking sides. He was picking the entire political system apart, one insult at a time. And somehow he managed to roast both presidential candidates and Hot Topic in the same breath. Meanwhile, Karoline Leavitt is over here acting like Trump was the second coming of Lincoln. If Lincoln had spray tan, a Twitter addiction, and a tendency to steal coats. While Burr's out here clowning on the chaos, Karoline was backstage handing out MAGA merch like it was Coachella, completely ignoring the flames engulfing the stage. She didn't read the room. She sprinted into the fire.
Literally trashed everybody. He did like the Elliot Ness speech in The Untouchables. The only thing he was missing was like a 2x4, and he was trashing everybody with red and blue ties. So it actually made me relax, going like, well, nobody's going to work with this guy.
This is Burr at his best. Trump gets elected, then immediately turns the presidency into a WWE heel promo, trashing everyone, left, right, allies, enemies, his own shadow, like it's WrestleMania meets kindergarten show and tell. Burr saw it for what it was, political anarchy with zero strategy, and Karoline, she saw it and thought, yes, this is how I'll launch my career. Leavitt didn't just latch onto the Trump train. She volunteered to shovel coal into a flaming dumpster on wheels, convinced it was a bullet train to greatness. Let's be honest, Trump's legacy is basically a mad lib of political disasters. Every time he opens his mouth, it's either a lie, a meltdown, or a history lesson written in crayon. And Karoline's still standing there like, wow, so brave.
How's your wife's hands doing these days?
Oh, they're fantastic. I love my wife. You know where you stand with her. Okay? The guy walked in the arena. Everybody cheered. She gave him the finger. Nobody got arrested. That's why this country's great. Everybody expressed themselves. Can we all be adults? I mean, I don't know about you, but I came there to go to the fights. I didn't know I was going to the Republican National Convention.
And there it is, Bill Burr turning a casual UFC night into a political stand-up special, starring his wife's middle finger and America's crumbling civility, while Burr's wife flips the bird to Trump in front of thousands. Karoline Leavitt is somewhere in the back, waving a tiny MAGA flag and hoping someone finally notices she's still loyal. She doesn't think, she follows, like a political Roomba, blindly bumping into Trump's busted ideas, hoping one of them leads to a promotion. And the irony? Trump doesn't reward loyalty, he burns through it. Karoline's clinging to a man whose political engine coughed its last puff of hot air back in 2020, and she's still acting like there's gas in the tank. That's not strategy, that's delusion.
If you want to see a great case thing on like narcissism, liberals are so stupid the way that they handle Trump. You should shut up. He's a narcissist, neutral energy. I think he was a one-hit wonder, right? He wrote The Twist, and then that was it. He was on the casino circuit. You idiot liberals wrote him Twist again when you indicted him. And now he's a martyr.
And now
he's coming back, Jimmy.
The peppermint twist
He's
is back.
coming back. It's going to be great for comedy. He's coming back.
Let's be real. Trump was the political version of The Twist, a one-hit wonder who stumbled into the charts. And somehow liberals gave him a remix deal by turning every scandal into a sequel. Bill Burr Burr sees the game for what it is, and he's laughing all the way to the mic. Trump's entire brand is chaos, and Karoline Leavitt, she's trying to dance to that broken record like it's still a banger. But history won't remember her for loyalty, it'll remember her for choosing a team that lost the game, then refused to leave the stadium. Now we're left watching these political hangers-on try to claw their way back to relevance, while Burr stands above the wreckage, pointing out just how absurd the whole circus has become. Because when you've got Donald Trump and Karoline Leavitt in the spotlight, there's always going to be another roast, coming very soon. Here you can watch the next drama. Click on it.